Hi, welcome to today's chess lesson. The theme of today's chess lesson is don't make too many pawn moves. We'll go over the very basics, and I'm going to play through a game that was a 1-minute game called a bullet game, and I played it online, and it ended pretty quickly. So we're going to play through white's moves. White is, of course, red, and black's moves. Here they are. So the ABCs of chess are A, attack the center, B, bring out your knights and bishops, and C, castle. A, attack the center. You attack it with a pawn, and it attacks those two squares. So D4 is a solid move. Black moves, D5. Nice response, attacks the center. The pawns block each other. So that's a nice response. B, bring out your bishops and knights. Bishop, F4. This is called, once you see that bishop come out, it's called the London system. This is the accelerated London system. The reason it's called system, not just a regular opening, is that the moves pretty much work for whatever black does. So it's pretty simple. B, bring out your bishops and knights. Black brings a knight here, which is okay. It's not good. It's not bad. It's okay. It's in play, but it blocks this bishop now. It can't get out. And the queen is kind of stuck there, whereas my bishop's already out, and it's covering a lot of space. C. C3. I meant not C for castle. I'm moving C3. This is the London system. You shouldn't make more than 2 or 3 pawn moves, and in the London system, you're going to create a triangle that lets your bishops out and protects things. It's a nice system. C6. Sometimes that's a good reply to C3, but it doesn't really do anything. It just lets his queen out, which really can't go anywhere. So his queen could get out, but he's going to have some problems. E3. Now, with E3, this bishop can come out, right? B, bring out your bishops and knights. And I can get ready to start castling. B5. These are bad pawn moves. They're bad moves and bad pawn moves because they don't let other pieces out. This piece, the bishop, if he goes there, he's still stuck behind 2 other pawns that would have to move, and that pawn is not going to move. And he would have to move that, so it would take several moves to get that bishop into the game. My next move was knight to F3. Knight F3, getting ready to castle, trying to grab some of the center, attacking that square. Get your pieces out. B, bring out your bishops and knights. A6. Does nothing, does worse than nothing. Traps his bishop back in there. It can't move for many, many, many moves now. These pieces are either in jail or falling asleep, whereas white can bring out his army. A6 is a very bad move. Bishop D3. The bishop's right in the center, right? B, bring out your bishops and knights. Look at that. These 2 bishops already are putting pressure on these people, or these pawns. They're attacking them, and it's out, and I'm ready to castle over here. So white is ready to castle. C is castle. We're not going to do that. Some of you who've been in my class before, we go over D, E, and F. D is don't bring out your queen. Do not. And don't bring out your queen or your rooks. E, each piece moves only once till you develop. And F, forget about the pawns. Don't make pawn moves. This person gets an F because they're not following the F rule. Don't bring out your pawns. Okay, forget about your pawns. Get your pieces out. So I brought out my bishop. He brings out his rook. Rook to a7 makes no sense at all. It can't go anywhere. Rooks are just as powerful on your back row as they are anywhere else. And they also are protected. You can bring them out to defend later or double them, but that's a terrible move. So you want to bring out your pieces, not your clunky castles. Knight b to d2. White continues his development. He's over here with all his pieces marshaled right there. He's got an army. Meanwhile, White makes Black makes another pawn move. Doesn't do anything. No piece can get out now because of that. It didn't help him at all. But I know what he's planning. I'm pretty sure most people, when they do that, after making other bad moves, they're probably going to take this pawn and put it there to attack that bishop. So I am going to just violate the rule a little bit. But this is an exception to the rule. You have to know when you can make an exception. This is an exception because I know this is probably going to go there. This pawn's going to g5, and I can retreat my bishop safely to a beautiful square and still have a really nice castle. g5. Told you. No, that's expected when somebody does that. And I just bring my bishop back there. It's still developed. It sweeps across the whole board. This bishop goes across the whole board. They're strong. My knights are ready to come out. All his pieces have fallen asleep. They're in jail. They're intoxicated. They just can't do anything. I went bishop h2. Now, he makes his 7th pawn move. So now we have 7 pawns, and we have this army that has come out. So it's like we have the Justice League versus the 7 dwarves. Been bringing my whole army out, and White is not only ready, the Justice League is not only ready, Wonder Woman, the Queen, is about ready to go here and create a battery. However, you need to look at the board because look at this. This is the 9th move. This whole game took place in 21 seconds. So look at the board. What is White's next move? Take 10 seconds. 5 seconds. I'm going to give you a clue. The clue is you want to look for attacks to the opponent's king. Do I have any attacks? Do I have any checks? Do I have any threats to it? 2 more seconds. Do you see any? Checkmate. King can't go anywhere, can't block it, can do nothing. 10 moves, 21 seconds. It was a bullet game. You only had a minute anyway. But the mistakes there's so many. Number 1, don't make too many pawn moves. Big mistake. 2, get out your pieces. 3, castle. I was prepared to castle, and I could have castled either side, but White didn't need to because there was no threat. So White can keep developing because there's no pressure on White. So you want to make sure you bring out your pieces to create a threat against your opponent. This piece can only move 1 square. This piece is stuck, can't go anywhere. None of these pieces can go anywhere. So let your pieces move, and they have a lot more room if you don't make pawn moves. Final reminder, if you move the pawn in front of the bishop next to your king, the f7 pawn, that's a very dangerous pawn to move because it creates a weakness. Pawns can't go backwards, so you want to make sure that you don't move that pawn. So this is a little lesson about don't make too many pawn moves, and you will have a much better game. See you soon.